This is actually a dual act. So, hi, Brian and Skylar.
Hello.
So, they're both on stage. So, this is a dual presentation by Brian from. Actually, they can introduce themselves. So, one is from Verico Technology, and the other one is from Verde Technology. So, and they'll be telling us about speeding commercialization through early engagement with contract manufacturing. So, I don't know if you will be going first, Brian, or you, Skylar.
Skylar's going to kick it off.
So, Skylar, over to you.
Sounds good. Thank you so much. And it's such an honor to be here. And my name is Skylar Bagdon. I'm the CEO of Verde Technologies. We're an early stage perovskite startup that is based out of Burlington, Vermont. Our focus is on scalable manufacturing of perovskites with a product focus of lightweight and flexible modules. And today I'm going to be talking about the process of kind of development that Verde has gone through internally and how we've really early in the process engaged with contract manufacturers such as Brian at Verico to try to speed up our understanding of how to scale our perovskite compositions and hopefully get perovskites out into the market more rapidly. So for a little bit of background on Verde and our company, our work really dates back to 2020, and it was at the University of Vermont, which is where we spun out of. Not exactly where a lot of the groups are based, but we have great skiing and we make solar cells too. And it started with National Science Foundation work that had nothing to do with perovskites. It was around a coating technology. It was around techniques for manufacturing crystalline thin films of all kinds. But then the question became, what is the most impactful thin film that we could manufacture using these coating techniques? Perovskites were a clear answer to that. So we then formed a partnership with the National Renewable Energy Lab, as well as a series of full-scale manufacturers. And the thesis here was, can we understand to the greatest degree possible how to make perovskite solar cells on a small scale, but then what it's going to take to actually reach full-scale manufacturing? In that work, got us to win the Department of Energy's Perovskite Startup Prize last year, which opened up a number of doors for additional academic partnerships and ultimately got us to be named one of two commercial partners on the US Department of Energy's Perovskite Commercialization Center, which is called ADEPT. So what we view our role in the ecosystem as is, yes, we have internal development of perovskites, but we really are aiming to be the best integrator and scaler of technologies. We see a lot of breakthroughs in perovskite science from a variety of different academic groups, MIT, Princeton, NREL, University of California, but we have yet to really see a lot of those integrated into commercial products. And so Verde is looking and is partnering with all of these groups, figuring out how to put the pieces of the perovskite puzzle together and then combine that into an integrated, scalable cell platform that can be commercialized and deployed in the field. Now, what makes us uniquely suited to serve that role of integrating and scaling technologies is that we take a little bit of a different approach to what we do in our lab for development. So as I'm sure has been discussed in a lot of these talks, a substantial amount of work for perovskites is done using non-scalable techniques such as spin coating because they're efficient in the lab. We know what processes scale, largely commercial slot die coating, but many groups aren't using slot die coating for development because it's inefficient to iterate quickly in a lab. So what we've developed is what can be more easily thought of as a simplified gravity-fed slot die that uses meniscal forces and gravity to define flow rate instead of the traditional pump that is seen with a slot die. This means our system is much more mechanically simple, but mimics a lot of the key fluid dynamics of slot die. So we eliminate the slow cleaning process. We eliminate the variable of pump speed. We're able to use around 100 times less fluid per sample than would traditionally be needed for slot die development. But the thesis here is that the findings are just as scalable as slot die. So the first step in our development was proving that we really could transfer from spin coating to our in-house Verde slot coating. So one of our partners, the University of California, uses an automated spin coating setup. So they have a robot that reduces the variability associated with a human operator. And they have an artificial intelligence backend that is analyzing the results and trying to speed up the process of improving perovskite compositions. So you have automated spin coating using non-scalable methods on the left side of the screen. Well, in a very short period of time, just a matter of weeks, using Verde slot coating, we were able to get virtually identical film qualities, actually improved film quality over what was done via spin coating. And the actual device performance was just as good, if not better. So we were up, well over 20%, even using a continuous meniscus coating process more akin to slot die. So we proved successfully that we could take technologies from third parties